Now, we have our first seam sewn together that I just did. Now, we're going to take the next section, which are these two, and flip it down onto this one. It's going to be a strange angle, but we're going to do the same thing we did before. Flip this one down on here, and we will sew all of these next. Now, I have completed this top row right here. We have sewn these two pieces together, and on the first sewing, I put all of the seams toward the lighter strip, whichever piece had the lighter strip. As I continued to put the pieces together, I continued to put the seams in the same direction. So row 1 has all seams going to the left. Row 2, we're going to sew together where the seams go to the right. Row 3 will go to the left and row 4 to the right, and they will lock together as we sew them together. Now, I have completed 2 of the rows of the quilt, and I'm going to lay this one over onto this one and sew them together. Be careful to lock these seams together as you go, just as we did before. And when you get here, open it up on the outside so that you can see these points and come right across the point where you'll have a nice sharp point there. And we'll sew this together, and then we'll finish up this quilt. Now we have these 2 rows together. I'm going to set the seam, and then we're going to iron it open, and then we're going to turn it over and make these heavy seams not so bulky. I'm going to raise it out, bump against that seam, and open it up. And hopefully all your points are sharp. All of them look good. If not, it's a learning experience. But hopefully you have a good point there where these come together in the middle of these spider webs. And just iron on down. Hit them with some steam real good. Then we're going to turn it over. And everywhere that all of these things come together, you're going to have a bulky spot. Open it up. Press and steam it open real good. And it will take the bulk out of these spots. That way when you're quilting on it later, you won't have a big knot there. And then we'll get the borders on. Now we have our quilt top together, but remember I told you we were going to cut off some of the edge pieces so that we would have a rectangle. It's time to do that now. I've started trimming. You take your large square or any type of square that you have. You're going to line it up with the bottom of your quilt, and then you want to come 1/4 inch past that point at the edge of your hexagon. So we've trimmed up to there. I'm going to slide it down where I can get to the next one. And I need a longer ruler for this, so I'm using my 6 by 24. We want to go 1/4 inch past that one and 1/4 inch past this one. And we're going to trim it up. Then we'll pull it down to the next one, and we'll keep doing that until we've gone all the way around the quilt. I want to measure for my first border now. We have it squared up. It looks really nice up here, but we have to bring out these colors. So my first border, I want to cut a 1.5 inch piece, the width of the quilt, put it at the top and the bottom. Then I'll measure from top to bottom, put it on either side, and get these borders started. I think that the first border that I have is going to be this dark green, so I'll cut my strips from that. Now let's measure from left to right. 57.5. Let's measure again. Now always measure in the center of the quilt. You may want to check 2 places. I got 57. I'm going to go with 57.5. I believe that was a little more accurate. So I'll cut 2 strips 57.5 and attach them to the top and the bottom, and then we'll get that on. We're ready for our second border. I have gotten the green strip, my first border, all the way around. I measure from side to side, and that's your top and border, and then I measure from top to bottom, and that's the length for the 2 sides. We're going to do the same thing this time, but we're going to use a different color. I want this lighter color for my next border so that my quilting will show up and it will set off the rest of the quilt. So I will measure from this side to that side and cut 2 pieces for the top and bottom and put those on. And then I will measure from top and bottom and put those 2 pieces on the sides. And I'll do that now. Okay, we have all of our borders on the quilt now. It is ready to be quilted. You can use the quilting type of your choice. You can hand quilt it, you can machine quilt it on your sewing machine, or you can take it to a long arm quilter. But we want to get it quilted, and when we finish, we will bind it with the dark green or any of these colors we like. But we want to take our framework around it to bring out the colors in the center of the quilt. I hope you've learned something from this lesson. If you have any questions, get in touch with a quilter or call me and I'll try to help you. In the meantime, until I see you again, happy quilting.